I'm not Pressley by chance. I'm not Pressley by mistake. I am Pressley on purpose. I'm not Pressley by chance. I'm not Pressley by mistake. I am Pressley on purpose. And this episode of Pressley on Purpose is brought to you by Queens Royale, my lifestyle brand for women and men who wear their confidence out loud every single day. So, hey, y'all, it's your girl, Adyna K. Pressley, and welcome to Pressley on Purpose. Listen, y'all already know this is not the button up CEO version of me. This is the real me, the healed but still human me, the sister friend, and that good girlfriend version of me, the funny around the way girl, the big sister who done lived some ish me. And y'all already know here we talk about stuff I generally don't post, the moments that break you, the moments that build you, and the moments that lead you towards the healed version of you. And every week we're getting into purpose, reinvention, boundaries, healing, and choosing yourself loudly, boldly, and without apology. So get your good going tea, get honest, get ready, and get comfortable because we're rising and we are rising on purpose. So today's episode, well, first of all, I want to start by saying this. I want to say thank you to the folks that's been reaching out and telling me how Pressley on Purpose has been resonating with them and how every now and again I have a word that hits them and like I say may snatch a edge or something. So I just want to say I hear you and I thank you. And I actually got a few requests with regards to what my next topic should be. So today's topic is actually going to be about stepping away from family members who cross the line. I think that we have a tendency to, because we are family members or because we have history with people, sometimes they feel that it's okay for them to cross the line. And they cross the line because they know that because they're a family member or because you have a specific relationship with them, that you are going to look past it. Or maybe in the past, you have let certain situations go. You may have given grace to people who may have not necessarily should have been granted grace because they've taken advantage of your niceness. So today's topic is going to be about don't take my kindness for weakness. Don't take my kindness for weakness. And I speak about this because I've dealt with this personally. And like I said, I hear you. And I said, if there's anything you want me to talk about, just let me know. And I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about that today because I think people sometimes get it misconstrued that when you are nice or when you give people grace or you give chances to people time and time again, that they think they can continuously take advantage of your goodness. And I have a problem with that. And the reason why I have a problem with that is because I've actually been that person. I've given people grace. I've overlooked certain things because, let's say, for instance, it's a family member and you're like, oh, that's my family member. So, family first, that saying family first and all of that jazz. And to be honest with you, that all sounds good. But in reality, when somebody is taking advantage of your niceness, if somebody's taking advantage of your goodness and is not being held accountable for their actions, then I think sometimes you have to take a stand. And when you take a stand, sometimes you may have to take a stand of, regardless of what our relationship is, I'm going to have to step away. I'm going to have to deal with you, if I decide to deal with you, from a distance, because you obviously are not respecting, like we talked about before, my boundaries, or you're taking advantage of the fact that you know that I have a soft spot for you potentially, or because of the relationship that we have established, or because of the fact that we may be family members, that you think it's okay to behave that way. And it's not acceptable. And I know for me, one of the things that I've been standing on is I'm not condoning bad behavior. I am not. I don't care who you are. I am not condoning bad behavior. And I'm certainly not going to condone bad behavior that's going to disturb my peace. You guys already know. I always speak about this. My peace is paramount. And just because somebody may be close to me or a family member does not make them exempt from the fact that they should be held accountable for their actions. And it also does not make them exempt from the fact that I can step away, I can walk away. I can still love you, but I can love you from a distance because again, you are not respecting my boundaries and you are not taking into consideration the way your actions are affecting me. And again, I feel there's no place for that. I know in my life, there's no place for that, especially in my year of being intentional. There is no place for me to accept anybody and allow anybody to do what they feel they want to do to me. People, again, take your kindness for weakness and they take your grace and they use it against you. And one of the things that I've noticed with some people is they'll try to guilt you. They'll try to use their past or maybe the relationship that you had with them and try to use that against you. And especially if you're making a conscious decision to try to rectify your relationship or trying to grow from it, because again, people fail to realize that most people are in a place in their life where they want to grow, where they're in a growth stage, where they're trying to change, where they want to change the narrative of what their relationship may have been with this person. And instead of them embracing it and instead of them going with the flow, they rather use that against you or they rather use that as a crutch. And again, that to me is not acceptable because then that means your intentions are not good when it comes to trying to change the narrative or to strengthen the bond or strengthen the relationship. You're trying to manipulate the situation. And again, I don't have time for that. And I don't respect anybody that feels that they need to do that maybe to make themselves feel good that they feel the need to do that to you, or again, not wanting to hold themselves accountable for the part that they played. Because I do believe that in most situations, when it comes to relationships, regardless of whether it is an intimate relationship or a family relationship or a friend relationship, if the relationship is struggling or the relationship is tarnished or the relationship is shaky and you're trying to rectify it, you best believe that there are two sides to every story and there are two sets of actions that occurred that made that relationship be in that place of instability. So I say that to say that I'm having a hot flash, guys. Give me a moment. I'm going to turn on my fan. So I say that to say that taking someone's kindness for weakness and trying to use it against them, in my opinion, is an issue with that person because I feel like they're not trying to hold themselves accountable for the actions that they played in. And there's always two sides to every story. And it's okay. It is okay when it gets to the point where there is no resolution, there is no way of rectifying the situation. There is no way of strengthening the relationship because basically they have crossed the line, they have overstepped their boundaries, and now you have to step away. And let me tell you something, I've done that. I've done that, and I've done it out of love. And the reason why is because sometimes, again, you can't continuously pacify someone's bad behavior. You can't. Because if you do, what's going to wind up happening is they're going to continue to do the same things over and over again. And all you're going to do is set yourself up for disappointment or aggravation or severing the relationship altogether. So sometimes I do believe that even if you take a stand with someone and if they can't recognize the part that they played or again hold themselves accountable and can admit to the part that they played to get you both on a level playing ground to resolve and to repair your relationship, then at that point it's just best to walk away. It's just best to walk away. And in some cases, if the person really, really cares about you, if they really care about the relationship, they'll recognize the distance. They'll see that you're standing firm on your position as far as the your relationship is concerned, and they will make a conscious effort to to try to repair it. And I've seen that happen. I've seen it happen. I've seen it where you're able to resolve the issue and you're able to move on. You're able to pick up where you left off in a good place and move on. But then there's some people who are just stubborn, or there are some people who are just in denial, or there's just some people who just flat out won't accept they're wrong. And in that case, that's where the relationship has to end. And again, I don't care who it is, it has to end, because I don't believe in accepting toxicity or putting myself in a place that is going to disturb my peace just for the sake of someone being a family member or a friend. Sometimes we just grow apart. Sometimes we're just in different places. And not everybody can go with you on the path that you're on, especially when you're on a path to growth, when they are stuck. And that's another thing. I've noticed that people who are stuck, they can't see that your change has nothing to do with them. It's all about you elevating yourself. But because they are in a place where they're stuck, they take offense to it. They don't know how to deal with it. And they tend to not be able to handle it, or they tend to feel like you're changing. They have a tendency to think that you're changing. And yeah, you are changing, but you're changing for yourself. You're changing for the betterment of yourself. You're changing because you're growing. You're changing because you are elevating. And they don't understand that. And when you get to that space too, again, sometimes it is just best to move on. Nothing personal. Let me tell you something. There's been people that I moved on from, and I'm not mad at them. I don't have no malice. There's no bad feelings in my heart about them. It's just that we're not in the same place anymore. We're not going in the same direction. And they can't take this ride with me because we're just not in the same lane. We're just not. We're not going in the same direction. And it's okay. I still got love for them. I will always have love for them, but I'm just going to have to love them from a distance. And you guys heard me say this before. So sometimes you do have to move on. And when you're moving on again for yourself, because you don't want to get yourself to a place where now you're stagnated, because you're trying to hold on to this old relationship that is still stuck in the past and is not elevating and is not growing and is not blossoming. You just can't do it, because all you're going to do is hold yourself back. So again, I say that to say, don't allow anybody to take your kindness for weakness. Don't feel that you are obligated to stay in a relationship or maintain a relationship with somebody based on their title, whether that's a family member, an intimate relationship, whether that's a friendship. It does not matter. If it doesn't feel in alignment with who you are and where you're going, and is part of your growth, then that relationship is just not for you anymore. And you have to recognize it, and you have to be okay with it. And you can't let anybody try to sway your way of thinking about it, because this is your feelings. This is something that you have to deal with. And again, if you continue to keep them in your world, if you continue to keep them in your world, again, all they're going to do is hold you back. They're going to hold you back. So I hope this resonated with somebody. Like I said, I've been there, I've experienced it, and it wasn't the best feeling. I'm not going to act like you walk away from people and you're okay with it. It hurts. If you have to walk away from a friendship, that's like being in a relationship with somebody, especially if you had a relationship with this person for several years. And now you're breaking up. Your friendship is breaking up and it feels like a real breakup. It's a real thing and it's not easy, but sometimes it is very necessary. It is very necessary because not everybody is in the same space. Not everybody is moving in the same direction. Sometimes you just outgrow people. Sometimes the way you think or the way you look at the world or the way you interpret things or your perspective on certain things change. And another person that you may have had a long term relationship with just can't see it. They don't see eye to eye with you. And again, that's okay. But that goes to show you that their mind space is somewhere else from yours. And sometimes it just means it's time to move on. We've had our time together. It's been great, but it's time to move on. And it's all love, never no hate, never no malice, but it's just going to have to be love from a distance. So that is my episode today for Pressley on Purpose. I hope this resonated with you. I hope this is something that touched your heart or touched your spirit. Maybe this is something that you need to share with somebody and maybe it snatched the edge. I don't know. But again, if there's anything that you want to talk about, let me know. If there's anything that you loved about this, let me know. Like, share, and please subscribe. This message and this podcast and this episode of Pressley on Purpose is brought to you by Queens Royale, my lifestyle streetwear brand made for both men and women who want to wear their crown. And you can check it out on www.queens-royale.com. All orders $25 and over are free shipping. So I am not Pressley by chance. I am not Pressley by mistake. I am Pressley on purpose. And thank you for being with me. Good night. One. I'm not Pressley by chance. I'm not Pressley by mistake. I am Pressley on purpose.